Harmonium. History of harmonium. The harmonium is not of an Indian origin, although it has been associated with and used in Indian music for a long time. In fact, the harmonium has its origins in Europe, where it was used in the churches. Harmonium is popularly used for religious ceremonies and other festival occasions. Violin. The violin is one of the most commonly used string instruments today. This string instrument was first manufactured in the early 16th century in northern Italy. The first known modern violin was made by Andrea Amati in 1555. Tabla. Tabla is a traditional percussion instrument belonging to the North Indian heritage. It is a part of North Indian classical music and has significant importance. It is an instrument that can be played individually as in solo performance, and also it is capable to accompany different genres of music.
The xylophone possibly originated in Southeast Asia or Oceania and today exists in forms as simple as two or three logs laid across a player's leg or as wooden slabs set across two supports such as logs. A pit dug in the earth may act as a resonating chamber. In contrast, many forms of xylophones are found in Africa. Harps were widely used in the ancient Mediterranean and Middle East, although rare in Greece and Rome. Depiction survives from Egypt and Mesopotamia from about 3000 BCE. Many were played in vertical position and plucked with fingers of both hands, but Mesopotamia also had horizontal harps.
The history of tabla is unclear, and there are multiple theories regarding this origin. There are two groups of theorists, one that traces its origin to Muslim and Mughal conquerors of the Indian subcontinent. The other traces it to indigenous origins. One example of the latter theory is carving in Balcha caves. However, clear pictorial evidence of the drum emerges only from about 1745, and the drums continue to be developed in the shape until the early 80s. Guitar plucked strange musical instrument that probably originated in Spain early in the 16th century. Diverging from the guitarra, Latin, a late medieval instrument with a wasted body and four strings. Straightened instruments have a long history in folk music, but the violin became more standardized after it went to court. Most historians agree that today's violin emerged in the early 16th century in northern Italy, an area which would maintain the violin making tradition over the coming centuries.
The history of piano. The piano was invented by Bartolomeo Cristofori of Italy. Cristofori was unsatisfied by the lack of control that musicians had over the volume level of the harpsichord. He is credited for switching out the plucking mechanism with a hammer to create the modern piano in around the year 1700. Pianos can be broken down into three types of categories: grand pianos, upright pianos, and digital pianos. Each of these pianos have their own unique features that are designed for specific pianist needs and environments. The white keys are known as natural notes and the black keys are known as the sharps and flats. The history of xylophone. The xylophone possibly originated in Southeast Asia or Oceania and today exists in forms as simple as two or three logs laid across a player's legs or as wooden slabs set across two supports such as logs. A pit dug in the earth may act as a resonating chamber. The name xylophone comes from two Greek words, xylon meaning wood and phon meaning voice. It was originally made from pieces of wood placed on gourds and hit with the spoons. The two-row xylophone was first introduced in the late 19th century by Albert Roth, and they were mass-produced in the early 20th century by American John Calhoun Deacon.
Flute. The origin of flute is still not specific. It is said that both China and France share the position of the origin of flute. The flute is the earliest instrument that we have archaeologically found that dates to Paleolithic times, more than 35,000 years ago. An early flute found in China was called xie. Many ancient cultures have some form of flute passed down through history. The flute belongs to the woodwind instruments. But unlike other woodwinds that use reeds, the flute is regardless and produces its sound from flow of air across an opening. Veena. The origin of veena was in India. Veena is one of the most ancient string instruments of India. It is a stringed instrument similar to the Grecian harp. In its current form, the instrument can be attributed to Raghunath Nayak of Thanjavur in Tamil Nadu. It is said that it is invented in the part of South India. Sitar. The origin of sitar was from India. The word sitar is derived from the Persian word sehtar, meaning three string. The instrument appears to have descended from long-necked lutes taken to India from Central Asia. The sitar flourished in 16th and 17th centuries and arrived at its present form in the 18th century. In Sangeet Sudarshana, it is also said that sitar was invented by a fakir named Amir Khusru in the 18th century.